So this is my Oscar tank, and as I said inside that I do not use fiber because this would be like a waste of time for me, because the Oscar excrete a lot of waste. So therefore I would the fiber would actually clog up the holes, which makes it very difficult for the water to actually travel through. So therefore I use gravel, in which I actually wash out like once a week or once or 2 weeks, it depends, right? So therefore the water goes through the gravel with the waste, and as it travels through the gravel with the waste is actually trapped between the gravel, in which I will actually dispose of during the course of the week or whenever I'm doing maintenance, right? Also the gravel helps to culture beneficial bacteria that is necessary so as to manage the level of nitrates and nitrites within the tank, within the pond, right? So this pump, which is another this is another pump similar to the one in which I've actually shown you inside, right? This is a 60-gallon GPH pump, which serves very well. I have had this submersible pump for 2 years now, no problem. Only thing I have had to do is to just pull it up and to clean it, in which I'll show you in the future. Let's look at my other filtration system. So last week I showed you that I like the idea of, well, I prefer the idea of both filtering and siphoning my tank. If you depend on filtration only to manage your fish waste, you might end up in a problem, because some of the fish waste are going to be solid, right? And not all fish waste will be dissolved in the water. So therefore siphoning is good, and we discussed that, we spoke about that last week. Now this week we're looking at filtration, my filtration system. I'm not just looking at any filtration system, I'm looking at what I do. Now I am currently in transition mode, and that is probably for the past from July, from August, right? If you realize that my ponds, which is about 17 of them, right, are plumbed for water circulation, where I have the input, the overflow, and the output, right? Water goes in, water is managed by the overflow, water goes out, right? And here you have a check valve, a valve that actually controls the in and the out of the water. Now for about 2 or 3 months I was using a pump, 0.5 gallon horsepower, 0.5 horsepower pump, which I've actually installed and securely within my yard, right? And the pump was here along with the canister, right? And it was on the top of the table. If you look back in my previous videos, you will see that I use about 3 different filtration system on this entire system within a short period of time, because I was trying to get this thing to be as easy as possible. It was really creating a havoc, having to well, not really havoc, it was really creating an awesome task for me to get up every Sunday morning to siphon out my tanks. It's either that or I decrease the amount of tanks, meaning I would actually have to get rid of some of my fish. Okay, so I decided that I would try out the best alternative, so I started to use canister. I think the canister lasted the longest, right? But it proved to be the most expensive, right? In the sense that I did a video on that also, where I look at the whole idea of wattage and how many watts it used versus the light bill before and light bill after. So I decided that I would just use air pump, right? Now some things are out of whack like this. It will be fixed in whenever it becomes, I call it now, whenever it's it will be fixed in the near future. Right, so what I intend to do is to use air pumps. I have not taken off the inflows because I'll be actually going around and sealing every single creases here. I'll be sealing every single creases along, that's the top pipes going straight across, and I'll be purchasing a very large air pump which should give me enough air to filter my entire system. So I eventually need about 2 air pumps because I'll be, well, 1 air pump because I'll be using a submersible pump to put my IBC on, and I'll be trying to, well, I'm considering putting a sub, and that sub would actually have to go in the ground, right, for my IBC totes, and I should get another IBC tote in a very short bit. Right, that now I will be placing all my swordtails in, so I will have a tank dedicated to swordtails only. All right, so for my filtration, what I do, I use plants. You see, plants actually uses the waste from the fish. The plants help to convert the plants, along with the beneficial bacteria, help to convert the ammonia from both the feed and the fish waste into nitrates and nitrites, which eventually become food for the plants. And the plants, after doing that, help to provide oxygen for my fish. Also, the plants, as you all know, sticks out of the pond, so therefore whenever the breeze blow, it shifts the plants. The plants vibrate, the water vibrate, thus the more the water vibrates, the more oxygen that is given to the water. Thus I use this method also. Along with this method, supporting this method, some dirt, mud is placed at the base of all my ponds except for one, right? And this mud has within it beneficial bacteria which help to manage the chemical components of the water, so the water quality remains at a constant. While I siphon, yes, but I will not get everything in my siphon. While I will water change, I will not get everything. The filtration system that you use within your pond or your tank will determine on the type of fish that you keep. It determines on whether or not, one, the fish is a large fish or a small fish, or two, it depends on whether or not the fish is, it also depends on whether or not the fish is an egg-laying fish or a fish that gives live birth. If you did not know, fish that give live birth usually poo, or should I say excrete, less waste than fish that actually lays eggs. That's one of the reasons why koi, goldfish, Jack Dempsey, Oscar, these fish lay egg, thus the amount of waste that they produce far exceed fish such like the guppy, the swordtail, the molly, right, and some other fish that may give live birth. With this said, filtration system differ in size and technique as to how you actually manage your fish waste. Now, intentionally, I had set up this system to do aquaponics. However, I have not gotten around to do that as yet because of time constraint. I will have to do that within my holiday, and I just don't get around to do that yet. Okay, so what I do for this koi pond is to actually get what do you call it now, a power head. This power head, like the one that is in the house and the one that is at the front, actually collects the water at the front, right here. Alright, it collects the water and it sends the water up through this tube, right? Send the water up through this tube. It goes up all the way to the side. That's the water. It's pumped all the way up to the side, right? And it comes up here where it actually goes on some sponge that is actually cut and paste here for mechanical filtration, right? Below the sponge are some gravel, some sea gravel, right, that I use so as to do the mechanical filtration. So this pond actually has both mechanical as well as biological filtration. In addition, I've actually placed some water lilies in this pond. I never really needed to place them in there still because the water is being oxygenated, it's being churned, and the fish should be okay. However, it starts to tear up the leaf of the plant already. Anyway, however, what happened is that I'm living in Jamaica, and periodically, and I should have said this earlier, I'm living in Jamaica and periodically light may go, and when light go away, light go away for like 2-3 hours. So without any means of oxygenation, my fish would actually suffocate, not having the amount of oxygen to maintain themselves. They will die. Thus, this whole outlay of hyacinth lily serves as like a backup generator for me, right? The fish inside, should in case that there's a storm, I know that I would not have electricity for the next like probably about 2 to 3 weeks before they actually fix back the system, right? So the fish inside during a storm or a tropical disaster, what I would have to do, I would have to take them out of the tank, right, as it is right now, and I would have to place them in one of the containers that is around the back here. However, I'm in the process of setting up 2 planted tanks, so during the next hurricane season, during the next storm season, I should not have that issue. Bearing in mind that the tropical season for 2017 have actually ended. Starting June, right, and it ends in November. Thus, the tropical hurricane season has ended, and I'm so grateful that I have not experienced much issues other than a little rain here or there, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. Currently, what I am doing, I'm actually getting my fish, my worm farm moist. I have seen a few babies in it. This won't be ready for taking up, or let's say harvesting, for a bit, probably the next 2 to 3 months before I actually go into this worm farm, take out some of the worm, cut them up, freeze them, and actually share them for my fish during the course of my period doing this thing. Alright, so here I am actually changing some water. I can't use that. I can't pull this and let out the water. The fish are too small, they will die. But anyway, let's get back to the filtration. Here, there's no pump, there's no air stone, there's no air pump, nothing at all. Only thing I have is our plants, right? And these plants, as I said before, they provide enough oxygen for my fish. In this pond alone, I have roughly about 400 fish, right? I have about 300 filament barb, and the rest is guppy and swordtail. As soon as the filament barb go to a size of probably about 3 to 4 inches, I remove them and place them somewhere else, right? And I also remove the guppies and the swordtail because I'll be getting another tote in a few weeks time, right? This pond, similar to the koi and the goldfish pond, is filtered, right, with the submersible pump actually taking the water from the pond, right? Taking the water from the pond, carrying it up. There is my monster pleco, at least one of them, right? We're taking water from the pond, and carrying it up into the holes, up into this area right here, where it goes into sponge, right? Water goes into the sponge. It is like filtered. As you can see, it is dirty, it needs to be cleaned, right? This is done once a week, right? So it is, water goes through the sponge, and beneath the sponge are some gravel. The gravel is about from here to about here. So beneath the sponge is some gravel, right? And the water will be filtered to the sponge to about here, and then you'll have gravel, and then some of the water will, the mess will actually sit here, right, below this hole, and the water now will actually come through this pipe and go back into the pond. As soon as the sun hits this water, the water becomes green, but in the early morning it is really clear. So there you have it, people, my filtration system, and it works. I have not had much fish kill. Anything that encouraged my fish to die is either my carelessness or it's an accident. So I have several mechanisms dealing with filtration, and they do work, and they have been working for nearly 3 years now. Thank you for making a fish keep in Jamaica. It has been a pleasure during this season. I hope that this final video for this season will do well, and it will encourage you to be back the next 2 weeks as I'll be doing more videos. Please note that my time will change from videos every single morning at 5 a.m. to videos on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Saturday nights. Thank you very much again. Do have a pleasant day. I'll give you an update on the Salt River experience. I'll be going to Salt River this morning again to get some clippings, but you won't see that for a bit because this is the last video for this season. So stay tuned. Some interesting things about Salt River. Appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you viewing. Bye bye from Fish Keeping Jamaica. Bye bye.